the new year? Are you someone who usually makes any New Year resolution, or are you more like a let's see what happened type of person? Regardless, it's always great to start the year, on a good mood, exciting, hopefully, for what it is to come. Just a few more minutes, maybe one more minute, and then we're gonna dive right into the webinar. Let me know in the chat if you are excited to learn about a business plan, if it's something that's new to you, or you are actually maybe thinking of writing a business plan or looking at ways to better the document that you've already prepared for your business. We would love to get to know you a little bit. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you looking for funding? Are you working on a business plan? Use the chat to introduce yourself. Leave your name and email for the draw at the end of the webinar to enter the chance to win a jet ticket. We've mentioned that we are trying to bribe you. No, we are very excited to have you guys, and we really want to make sure that you have a good experience, not just with the content, but as well with working with the Steel Clock Center. So we have a wonderful prize for one person at the end of the webinar. Perfect. So I think we're going to get started because it's a very heavy topic. The business plan is usually done in workshops, but we're going to try to cover the basics today. And as mentioned, just a few rules. Please stay muted throughout the webinar just to allow people to be focused and minimize the distraction. You can keep your camera on or you can keep it off. It's up to your liking. And drop your questions in the Q&A box throughout the webinar. You don't have to wait till the end. If there's anything that comes up when we do the webinar, please feel free to use the chat, feel free to use the Q&A to ask your questions, and they will be answered at the end. Lastly, the webinar will be recorded. We want to make sure that we provide you with a very rich resource so that you can go back and review the content and help you, that will help you move forward in your journey as an entrepreneur. And last but not least, give us a follow on our social media. We are very, very active on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn is the new Instagram, apparently, if you didn't know. So give us a follow and make sure you stay up to date with what's happening here at the Steel Clock Center for Entrepreneurship. With no further ado, I'm just going to share a quick video introducing the center.
Let's talk about entrepreneurship. It's the light bulb moment from your first big idea. It's the decision to set out on a new path. It's the realization that entrepreneurship starts with a spark, and that spark starts here. At the Stu Clark Center, we're here to nurture your ideas and help spark your entrepreneurial spirit. How? How about competitive opportunities to free your inner entrepreneur? Advice from venture coaches who have walked the walk. Or some of the best networking events you'll find on campus. You'll find it all right here. By focusing on education, awareness, community, coaching, and connection, we build strong relationships with our students and do everything we can to help them on their journey to self-starting. At the Stu Clark Center, we thrive when you thrive. No idea is too big or too small. The Stu Clark Center is your one-stop shop for everything you need to start your journey. So why not start today?
Perfect. Why not start today? There's no idea that is too big or too small. So a little bit on my background. My name is Karen. I am the venture coach here at the Steel Clock Center. I have over 7 years of experience working as an accountant. I have experience in financial analysis, financial forecasting, financial strategy. So all the good stuff that entrepreneurs need to know to be able to run a successful venture. And I am very fortunate to be able to coach any student, anyone from different faculty. It doesn't matter your background. You are always welcome to book a meeting with me to come chat about your idea, or maybe, discuss different strategy if you are already running a business. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm a consultant. I'm also looking for new ways to bring an innovative side, technology side to the world, and be the change I hope to see. So any question you may have, please feel free to contact me. We have a wonderful team here at the Stoklak Center of Expert. Deborah Jonathan-Young, the director, Lindsay Friesen, our marketing coordinator, and Amy Jones, our program coordinators. We are all here for you. The office is located on the second floor inside the Drake building. We are open from 8:30 to 4:30. You can come in person, or you can choose to book a meeting online using our Startup Tree platform. It's very easy to do so. I'm encouraging you to use that platform. We are building a very strong network, and hopefully we'll be providing you with more options if you decide to sign up today. So the platform is linked with my agenda. You create your account, you choose a date, a time. You can come in person, or you can choose a virtual meeting, everything to your preferred choice. And feel free to join us and book a meeting and discuss. I would love to see you come in and meet with me. And the second thing that we are really proud of here at the centers is our webinars. We are strongly working with business partners, ecosystem partners, entrepreneurs, industry expert, inviting them to provide knowledge and a very great content to you guys, just to help you explore entrepreneurship, learn about entrepreneurship, and maybe move forward as an entrepreneur. So everything is already ready on the website. Again, I'm encouraging you to visit, reserve, book, join, sign up. We have a few very, very interesting topics coming up for the rest of the month and the rest of the whole winter session. One of that topic is actually the pitching, and the thing about pitching your business idea, it's not about entrepreneurship. Being able to present yourself, whether you are working in a company or you are looking for a job, practicing public speaking is very, very important. How to present yourself, how to brand yourself. It's a skill that every employer is looking to get when they hire. So I'm inviting you to join us for that one. Everything is already listed on the website. If you want to learn how to pitch your idea or how to present yourself and gain valuable skills in that area, please join us. The second very great program that we have, I'm going to say program, but second great event that we have for this year is the Fireside Chat with Marnie McBain. She's a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. Very, very well known, and I am looking forward to have her come and share her secret to having a successful life. Whether you are an entrepreneur or you are not an entrepreneur, this is something that should be of interest to you. Everybody aim to be successful, and I'm pretty sure that Marnie will deliver on that topic. So sign up. Again, the website is ready. We already have the link. Sign up and save it in your calendar. Everything is virtual, and we hope to see you there. Now let's dive right into the subject of today. As I've mentioned, the business plan is usually done in many sequences. So today I'm going to try to provide you with the basics just to understand what it is. Just have a little bit of maybe, take ground in understanding what the business plan is, when do you need a business plan, and really how to construct, how to build a strong business plan. So here is our agenda. We're going to start off with some definition, then a little bit of context, then dive into the key component that makes the business plan. There's also other tools that entrepreneurs are looking to learn and to understand outside of the business plan. So it's not just writing a business plan, it's really understanding the different tools that are, and we're gonna focus a little bit more on the lean canvas approach, and then finally end up this webinar with some few takeaways. Before starting, I always have a question. I want to know my audience. I want to know if you are interested in entrepreneurship. So I would just launch a poll and give you a few seconds to answer if you are interested in entrepreneurship, if you consider yourself an entrepreneur, or maybe you don't know. There's no right or wrong answer. You don't have to know if entrepreneurship is for you. So I'm just gonna give you a few seconds just to answer, and then I'll close the poll. Okay, perfect. So just another second, the answers are still rolling in. Perfect. So I'm going to share the result. It's almost a tie with entrepreneurs and people who want to learn more about entrepreneurship, which is great. And if you are not quite sure, you came to the right place. Hopefully by the end of today, you will have a better understanding of what entrepreneurship could be to you. So now that I know that a lot of you, let's say 50% of you are entrepreneurs and another 50% or maybe 40% are interested in entrepreneurship, today we are focusing on one great tool that every entrepreneur should at least learn to master, right? It is not a requirement to write a business plan. Well, it's no longer, it used to be, but now it's a little bit more of a choice, depending again on the type of business, the type of activity that you are looking to start. But a business plan is what I call your business Bible. It is compiling every details about your business. It is highlighting your strategy, your market, all these great aspects of the business that you need to understand to be able to run a successful business. So yes, it is extremely important to looking at writing a business plan, even if you're not quite sure that you are going to take a leap and open your business, right? It is actually an exercise that can be an eye opener for you. If you have an idea, maybe a strong idea, and you start writing the business plan, you will understand soon. Maybe you need to go back and rethink. Maybe you need to dive more into research. Maybe you need to draft a stronger strategy. So I'm encouraging every person, every entrepreneur to really learn more about the business plan and understand the power of writing a business plan. It's a very powerful exercise. And it is a plan. We all need a plan. Well, if you are someone very methodic, you will agree with me that having a plan is a lifesaver, right? It provides you with clarity, provides you with direction, and this is exactly what a business plan is for entrepreneurs. It highlights different aspects of the business, from the fundamental legal aspect of the business, to the financials, the operations, the marketing. It's really an effective way to visualize the business and project the business in the future. And we will dive into that projections when we dive into the financial aspect. So again, great exercise. I'm encouraging every aspiring entrepreneurs or every entrepreneurs to look at possibly writing a business plan, or at least understanding the fundamentals of that document. You really need to think about the reason why you decide to write a business plan. Although I'm encouraging anyone to think about writing a business plan, there's a few points that you would like to think about when you write a business plan. So most of the time, people will start writing business plan before starting a business. It used to be the case. Now there's a little bit of a shift, depending on your personality. Some people are very prone to risk and go-getters, and they will think about that exercise as a waste of time. But it's still great, again, to have a plan. So before starting a business is a great time to write a business plan. When looking for funding, actually, most of the requirement for funding, depending on the institution, if you are looking for a bank to loan you a business credit, or if you are looking for different, micro grants, different organizations that support entrepreneurs, they usually will be requiring the applicant to provide a business plan. So sometimes you have no choice than to write a business plan if you are looking for funding, because it is most of the time a requirement. The third point is before exiting your business. It's very important to evaluate the business, to review the vision, the financial statement, and really see where the business is at before handing it over to someone else. The fourth point is before every beginning of the fiscal year. Now, you won't necessarily have to write the whole business plan from scratch every fiscal year, but it's always good to revisit your business plan just to see if you still align, the business is still aligned with the overall strategy. Maybe you are thinking of introducing a new product. Maybe you are thinking of discontinuing a line. It's always good to go back to your business Bible and kind of update some information before the beginning of your fiscal year. The fifth point that is very important to understand is when you are preparing to scale up. Again, it's such a great document, very detailed, that will help any business to prepare for growth. So again, it's a great moment in your journey as an entrepreneur. Maybe you started with no business plan, but you are at crossroad and you really need to know where to go next. You really need to prepare your next move in terms of growth. So you might consider writing a business plan. And the last, it's really when you change strategic directions, right? Maybe there was another CEO or some founders who they had the vision, they had something very specific for the business, and maybe you took over that business and it's not aligning with who you are, it's not aligning with your vision. So you probably have to go back in and revamp the business plan or write a brand new one because there's a change in terms of management. So those are the 6 reasons that people will consider when they want to write a business plan. But again, you can write a business plan just for an exercise as an entrepreneur. Maybe you have a strong idea and you believe, and you don't necessarily need a reason to learn how to write a business plan. But those are just the 6 points that usually come up. The second point with this presentation is what a business plan should answer. Again, it's a very heavy document. You need to understand why you are writing it and what the document needs to provide in terms of information. So I have highlighted 4 points that the business plan should answer. What? So a business plan should be clear. Anybody who reads your plan should understand what your business is about. What product are you selling? What service are you delivering? What problem are you answering? These points should be evident in your business plan. The second point is why. Why are you embarking on this journey? We always say that before comes your business, comes you. So your why is very important when writing a business. It is a convincing argument for investors. Maybe if you are writing a business plan to have a team, to put together a team, this section will be very important to disclose because people want to know you. Investors want to know what personality you have. Why are you coming up with this idea? Why do you think you're gonna make a difference? And a business plan should answer that. And how will you be attempting to operate that business? And that will dive into the process, your operations, the different steps that you have in place to achieve your business goals. And lastly, the when. When are you planning to be on business? When are you opening? Some people will join an execution plan. It's not a requirement to have an execution plan tied to your business plan, but it's still good to think about your timeline when you write a business plan and figure out your projection as well when you know your timeline to officially launch. So 4 questions the business plan should answer. If someone reads your business plan and they still wondering what your business is about, let me tell you, that's a bad business plan. These 4 questions should be clearly outlined in the business plan and evident for any reader. Now we are talking about business plan. There's different type of business plan. Again, depending on the type of business, depending on your motivation, why are you writing the business plan? There's different ways to go about it. And you have the internal versus the external, and then you have the lean versus the standards. Like you hear, the lean is probably a lightest version of the business plan, right? And it will provide a high-level overview of the business operations. You don't have to dive into the nitty-gritty of the market research and the primary market research and all this data. It's really a way to still present the business in a concise way. The second plan is the standard plan. Like, this is the full package. This is the one that can goes up to 100 pages, depending on the type of business, depending on the regulation, on the industry. There's no limit on how thick and big your business plan can be. The more precise it is, the more chances you have to get the funding. And usually that's the one that founders, again, depending on the type of investment and capital you are looking for, some lenders will be asking for a full business plan. And you have the quick summary. Again, this is used really to provide an overview. Maybe you are pitching your business to investors and you have a follow-up and they just say, okay, just send me an overview of the business. So that will be summarized in a one-pager, still highlighting the very important piece of the business, but it's not as deep. But to be able to do a one-pager, you will have to go through the whole exercise and now picking the different information depending on your audience or depending on the person that are requesting this type of information. And then usually people will do a business plan or like feasibility plan, strategic plan, marketing plan. It can be tailored to the need of the business. So it's not a rigid document that, one fit for all type of document. It is really, really flexible depending on the direction that you are thinking to go, you are leaning toward. You can write a big business plan, a small business plan, a one-pager, lean approach. It's really up to you. But those are basically the 4 types of business plan that you will often find when discussing with investors, with entrepreneurs, with founders. Now, the question that everybody is asking, okay, now we've talked about the business plan. It seems interesting, but how do you really structure a strong business plan? How do you write that document? Is it easy? Is it complex? And I'm just going to have another poll here just to see if you guys are familiar with it. If you have a little bit of understanding of the business plan, what it takes to write a business plan. So I'm sharing it. I'm just going to give you a few seconds just to see if we have some people here that are very familiar with this exercise or not at all. A few more seconds. Okay, that's perfect. So we have almost 80% of people that are familiar with the business plan. That's amazing. And then if you are not sure, it's okay. You are in for a good treat because we are going to dive into what makes a strong business plan. So a business plan must include these 5 points. It's very understand to follow the structure. You can't just start writing in different orders. It's almost like a process that you must follow, right? So it's very, very important to have these 5 big points, 5 big pillars highlighted in your business plan. It usually starts with an executive summary that is written at the end because it is a summary. It highlights everything that was developed within the plan itself. And usually the executive summary will be a 2-page document, providing information on the problem, the solution, the market overview, your value of proposition. So a little bit of everything that you had the chance to elaborate on in the body of the business plan. The second point, right after the executive summary, is the company's overview. You want to take the time to introduce your business, your founders, your vision, a little bit of your why, your mission statement, and I'm gonna develop a little bit more once we move on with the slides. But the third point, market analysis strategy, you always hear us say, you need to validate your idea. You need to make sure that people really want that product, that service that you are offering. And this is the section where you will dive into finding out if people want that project and how will you be drawing customer to your business. And then the operations, this is where things get a little bit complicated with numbers, with suppliers, and finding out costs and finding all the regulation and how to really navigate the operation aspect of the business. And then last, the financials, which is my favorite part, given my background, but it's a very, very, very important part of the business plan. This is an overview of the business plan, exactly like I've shared previously. Everyone who have booked a meeting with me probably received that template just to provide you with an infographic to see how everything works together in a nice, logical way when you write a business plan. You are starting with the executive summary, then nicely transitioning to the company overview, introducing yourself, introducing your team members, providing the problem that your business is solving and how the business is solving that, whether it's through an innovative product or through a service. This is the section where you will introduce your business to people. And then a nice flow again, once you disclose that problem and the solution, how do you know if people really want that product? How do you know that there is a market? So this can be a very heavy section as well, diving into industry reports, as well as surveys, just trying to get a feel of the markets, getting to see if people are interested in what you have to offer. The marketing plan, very, very important. I often notice that this is a part that many entrepreneurs skip. They'll talk about everything, but not how they will be attracting customers. It is very competitive out there within the entrepreneurship sphere. Unless you are coming with the brand new groundbreaking technology, most of the times you do have direct competition and indirect competition. So having a marketing plan, I'll say, will set you apart from other business plans because it really showcase how you will be walking through this different strategy to make money and convince people to buy your product. Human resources plan. Are you thinking of hiring? Do you need a team? Do you need employees? Do you need contractors? This is a very, very important step as well. Nicely transitioning to the operation plan. So once you know your costs in terms of salary, you can really dive into what next for the business. Do you need a license? Do you need a permit? Do you need have everything? What do you need to be able to run a business, right? So this will mostly be detailed in the operation plan. Legal and regulatory. Again, if you are entering a very regulated industry, it is very important to understand that you will have some obligations as a business owner. Maybe you also need to protect your idea. Maybe you need to patent your idea. This is where you will dive into the legal aspect of things. And last but not least, the financial plan. Again, feel free to drop the questions in the Q&A. They will be answered at the end. I know I'm trying to pack and deliver as much information as I can, but I'm always available to discuss further if you have a question. So, perfect. So I'm just going to dive into details a little bit for each part, each section of the business plan. As I've mentioned, the executive summary is usually written at the end. It is 2 pages, very, very simple. We usually see executive summary packed with writing. And it's not appealing, let me tell you. Your executive summary should be easy to read, you know, minimum writing, just straight to the point. If people have more and more questions, they will dive directly into the business plan and locate any information they need to see. But just try to keep that as a summary. I know it's redundant, but it is a summary. It just provide a very high overview of the business. Keep it light. Maybe you can have a few graphs in there, but because you only have 2 pages, be cautious about the type of information that you want to disclose. It is also the first entry, so it provides the reader with whether disappointment or excitement to continue reading the business plan. So it is very, very important to work on having a strong executive summary right from the get-go. So the reader, whether it's an investor, whether it's a bank, whether it's a partner, they feel exciting and they really want to continue reading the rest of the document. And for the financials, given the fact that it's only 2 pages, maybe having a little bit of text. Sometimes people will try to squeeze too many information and then it end up eating all the space. So even with the financials, just be cautious about the type of information that you want to provide. Maybe the profit that you will be making for the next 5 years, your cost of goods sold, your financial strategy in a few lines. If you can have a table in there, just make sure it's a very concise table of your profit and loss statement. You don't have to put in a whole, you know, or squeeze in information that will make it hard for the reader to see the numbers. So that's usually what I can say about the financial portion of the executive summary. Just keep it light, keep it concise, provide with the exact numbers, and especially the profit is what people want to see. Then we have the company overview. This is where you introducing your team, introducing the problem that you are solving. You often hear everybody say, entrepreneurship is about solving a problem with an idea, with a solution. So introduce the problem and present your solution in a very concise way. Again, the reader should not be wondering what it is that your business is about. And it happens often with very technical innovation product, right? Things can get very technical, making it harder for the reader, maybe who doesn't have that technical background, to understand what the business is about. So keep the language, again, very concise, very clear, business oriented as much as you can, and you will have enough chance to develop the technical aspect of things in the operation section of the business. But in this section, it's providing an overview. So wrapping up every detail into few sentences, your value of proposition, what are you bringing on the market that the competition does not bring, and a little bit of your company description, like are you incorporated? Are you a non-for-profit? Are you a charity? Are you a solo proprietor? It's very, very important to disclose this type of information because it does have an effect on the type of investment and funding that you can get. So legal structure, the vision, the mission, very, very important to talk about that as well. As you often hear us say, it's all about you, like you are your brand. And this is a very convincing argument that people sometimes overlook. It's just what mission, what are you trying to achieve with your business? What is your vision? It's a very, very critical point to have, given the times that we are. People are looking into um, socially involved business owners, whether even if you're still for profit, maybe you are a social enterprise or maybe you are non-for-profit. These points are really, really important for that type of business. People want to see if you will be doing good by the community. Is it just about the money? It is about changing, the world. Is it about making the world a better place? Is it about giving back as well? And your values as a business owner should be transparent in that section, and providing a good understanding of who you are as a founder or as a business owner. So write that in there in your company overview. It's a very convincing argument depending on the type of business. Again, if you are a social enterprise, if you are a charity, non-for-profit, these points are very, very important because you are not in it for the money. Most of the time, that's the perception we have of this type of business. So it's very, very important to have that highlighted in the overview section of the business. And we're gonna dive, now that you've done your executive summary, or you are keeping your executive summary for the end. You've done the company's overview. Now what's next? The market. Do people want your product? Is it something that's already existing on the market? Do you have competition? What are the different regulations? And this is where I'm losing a lot of interest from entrepreneurs, because it's a lot of reading, a lot of industry report that you will have to pull out. You have to take a look at Statistic Canada, Statista, the census, doing a little bit of research online, finding out about the industry, finding about the market share, the size of the market. Are you targeting Winnipeg? Are you targeting Manitoba? Are you looking at an international type of venture? And you really want to consider the size of the market. So it's a lot of reading. And if you are a student here at the University of Manitoba, you are lucky. The library has very, very great advantages with pulling out reports that people will usually pay for. So if you're a student, please take advantage of that opportunity to use the library, to have access to powerful search tools, to create reports, to review industry data, and really understand the industry you are venturing into. And these are information that you can find on the internet, and really put together a nice analysis about the market is what you are aiming for. When you start diving into the report and reading, you want to know, is your product servicing women, men, kids? Is there a specific ethnicity that you are targeting, specific profession that you are targeting? Really having a sense of the market and having the sense of your end customer is what this exercise is about. So you want to look at the market shares in terms of revenue. How big is the market? You want to look for competition. You want to look for areas, geographic location of the business. And all this information will really help you understand how to market your product to people. And you've probably heard it as well. The SWOT analysis is a very, very great analysis to have within your business plan. Again, it stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So let's say you are venturing into a specific industry. You want to find out if it's a highly regulated industry. So in that case, that can be considered as a weakness for this type of industry, because let's say you want to launch your business by the end of the year, but then it takes you a whole year to get a license to be able to sell. So it's providing you with an understanding on how to go about your timeline as an entrepreneur for your business, as well as really understanding what would be required from you to be able to be in business. So maybe a strength can be, maybe you are entering a market with low competition. Maybe it's a monopoly. That can be considered a strength when you do your SWOT analysis per industry. If your product will service different industry, it's still good to section per industry because, again, different market, different regulations. Just conduct your SWOT for every industry that you feel your product can penetrate in terms of market. Opportunities can be maybe the VCs are interested in that type of technology in that industry. That can be a great opportunity if you are looking for funding for your venture. So when you do your SWOT, you'll probably have that investor interest as an opportunity. So all of these to provide you with enough information to give it a go. We often have students saying, I do not know if my idea is a good idea. This type of information are free to access, especially if you have, again, your membership, you are a student and you have access to the library, or you even have Google. This type of information are out there on the government website. Statistic Canada is a great place to find information about the industry. And if you have any questions, if you feel a little bit lost with that section of the business plan, I would love to have a conversation with you and provide you with a little bit of guidance on what to look for when you are conducting a secondary market research. Now, the primary market research is when you collect information directly from your potential customers. And that can be done through surveys, maybe handing out flyers at the mall, asking family and friends, but not just family and friends. This is another thing. Your family may not want to disappoint you with your business idea. So try to broaden a little bit your pool and go out of your close social circle just to see if people will really be interested in buying your product or contracting your services. And that's what we call the primary market research. It's also helping you identify a niche. Let's say you've collected a lot of information and then you are noticing a pattern in the type of answers. Maybe you are noticing that people that are interesting to your idea are full-time professional that really love to work out. So it's already giving you a sense of a niche in terms of the market. You know, like you're not going to go for the whole world. Maybe you should focus first on professional that really love to work out, maybe women that love to work out early in the morning. So make your surveys as precise to have effective result. And again, if someone takes the time to fill out the survey, might as well put everything you need to get out of them and run with that information, because the more detailed your survey is, the more precise your analysis will come when it comes to understanding your market. So very, very great way to, again, identify the type of customers. Let's say if you talk to people and you notice that your customer are probably on this, maybe age by 65 years old, all of them maybe answered, yes, they're interested. It's giving you, again, a lot of information on what to target, what will be your target market, who will be interested in purchasing your product. And out of that, you will begin trying your marketing strategy. Now that you have a few information from people, as well as some information from the industry, you can kind of know, okay, maybe the industry is growing, the market is growing by 2%. So I think that I can grow my customer base by 2%, and I can attract my customer maybe using social media. A lot of maybe the surveys are demonstrating that the people that you've asked are on LinkedIn, not on Instagram. Maybe they are on Facebook, not on LinkedIn. Maybe they are TikTokers. right? So it's really important to understand that every information that is disclosed in your business plan must be supported by actual effort, surveys, by actual data that you were able to collect. So you don't just write on your marketing strategy that you will be on Instagram just because everybody's on Instagram. You are on Instagram because you've noticed that in that industry, it's mostly targeting women from age, millennial women that are on Instagram. And also that information was backed up with your surveys that is emphasizing the fact that, yes, people are often on Instagram or shopping on Instagram. Then it makes sense for you to have a marketing strategy that will include using Instagram to promote your business. So all of these be like, it's almost like a funnel type of thinking that you should have. You have the big information from the market. You have your information from your customer, from target market, and then you narrow everything down to having a strong marketing strategy to bring these people to your business. So that's the type of information that this section of the business should answer. It's great to have some nice visuals, some nice graph, infographic, and again, there's no such a thing as too much information. Anything that is too much will be directed in the appendix section, but just make sure that everything you are stating in this section is backed up by data, by research. This is a convincing argument. This is not something that you can just write. You have to do the work and find out what the market is like, find out your target market, and come up with a marketing strategy. So very, very lengthy process, but it does pay off at the end because you have your numbers every time you meet potential investors. Every time you pitch your idea, you are confident because you know that it is true, that your business has high chances of success because you have these proof to back up those assumptions. And another great way to support you once you transition slowly to your operations is to understand that what your cost will look like. I often get people asking me, okay, I have my idea, I've done the market research, but then I don't know how much I need to charge. I don't know what my product will cost me. And it's a nice way to structure your thought process by thinking 6 P's. It used to be 4 P's, meaning product, price, place, and promotion. Now it's expanding to 6 P's. We call it 6 P's marketing because, as you can see, those are 6 P's: product, for how much your product will cost you, your cost of goods sold, the pricing. How would you be pricing yourself? Are you aligning with competition? Are you going a little bit lower just to provide a greater reach in terms of sales? Or are you targeting maybe a little bit higher because you want that refined type of clientele? The place, do you conduct your business online? Do you need inventory? Are you storing? Do you need a store? Are you renting a space? Promotion, you need ad, you need a website, you need branding. So I often encourage people to start doing that exercise, maybe writing down the product, your pricing, the place, presentation, and so on, but really making sure that you also start utilizing Excel, right? Because how do you calculate your cost of goods sold? Is through Excel. So this exercise is done in parallel using Word, but as well Excel, so that you keep everything clear. It's the time to to start processing your plan in terms of operations. And then once you have your 6 P's, those are mainly highlighting your expenses as a business. You know what your product will cost you, you have your pricing, so you can already think about the revenues that you will make. You have your promotion costs, marketing, you have your people. If you have to hire a team, are you working with contractors, hiring? employees? Are you looking for co-founders? Are you looking for partners? So you have that list listed down. Now it comes with the price. And that's when you're going to start diving into the financial aspect of things, understanding that there is a fee to register your business. If you are seeking for legal advice as well, there will be a fees. Some entrepreneurs will be working with lawyers and accountants. If it's not your area of strength, I definitely advise you to seek some counsel from experts to really understand the liability and obligation that comes with your legal structure. And we also have done a webinar that you can go and review and kind of understand what type of legal fundamentals you need to grasp when you choose a business structure. We talked about intellectual property as well. Maybe you need to protect your idea. Can you afford to patent your idea? We have a great office here at the University of Manitoba in charge of providing support to intellectual property, patenting, innovation type of ventures. And I'm encouraging you to contact them if you feel that your product or your technologies will mostly need to be patented. Permit and license, like we've talked about, you need to know the requirement from the government of Canada for you to operate. Maybe you need a license from Manitoba Health. Maybe you need a license from different stakeholders that are involved in putting together your business, in materializing that business. And it comes with the cost. It comes with the timeline as well. So it's important for you to start using Excel at that point, just to put in the cost and understanding the different expenses that may occur for you to be in business. We talked about your product, how much your product costs you. Are you buying in Canada? Are you buying overseas? Don't forget the custom charges that comes along with that. Delivery, are you fulfilling internationally? You really have to understand all these costs as well. How much do you need to be in business? That will come up with a pretty specific amount, and that what we call the startup capital. Really what you need in terms of money to be able to launch, to be able to develop not just develop the product, register the business, apply for the license, maybe work with contractors, develop a website. So you have to think it through at that point. You can look up, you can look at different, maybe, how can I put that together? You can start looking at the accounting section of your business plan. And if you are not an accountant, or if you're not comfortable with numbers, again, I'm encouraging you to talk to an accountant, book a meeting with them, just to understand how you will be able to build that section of your business plan. And last but not least, the financial statements, profitability. Usually investors in your business plan, we want to see a full 5 years, 5 years of financial projections, showing your cash flow, sometimes the profit and loss, but it is very, very important in that section to have all your Excel table ready with the numbers. So this is the section where we need to see the tables in details. I'm gonna rush up again. Again, it's a very heavy topics. Some of the few things that you don't want to miss out, just to make your business plan professional. You want to have the titles, the graphic, as we mentioned, for the market research, as well as the financial statements, the financial section of the business plan. We really want to see the tables. We want to see the graphics. If you've done some surveys, we want to see, the responses in a nice graph. It really summarize everything, and still with a little bit of write-up. Have a nice table of content. Make sure that everything looks professional. Make sure you reread. No errors. Try to minimize the typos and stuff like that. And make sure you provide with supported documentation in the appendices. You don't want to have everything within the body of the business plan, really the main information, and make sure that you bring the reference for people to go back and check the details if they wish to. The lean canvas. Now, many startups are not necessarily diving into writing a full business plan. And this is the type of tools that they will be using. So most of the time when someone is starting a startup, they're not quite sure how the product will do on market. Maybe they are focusing on product development and getting feedback from the market. They will usually go and use that tool. Again, it's a one-pager, very easy to do. It's helping you think through the process of entrepreneurship without necessarily diving into writing a full business plan. And that's a great model if you are testing a prototype. If you're not quite sure, if you have a strong idea and you still want to give it a try, I'm encouraging you to use the lean Canva before diving into writing a full business plan. And this is the type of resource as well that you will get when you book a meeting with me. And we're going to wrap up with the takeaways. I know I tried my best to wrap everything in 1 hour, and I want to be cautious of the time. And again, we all need a plan, right? And that's what a business plan is. Whether it's a one-pager, it's a full lean Canva, it's a 40 pages document, it is very important to draft a plan if you want to be successful and follow through that plan. And whether you choose to write a full business plan or not, this document can be required by investors, can be required by banks, as we mentioned. So it's still great to learn about, the essentials, to really understand what makes a strong business plan and to practice. It's an exercise again, very neat exercise that will open up your eyes as an entrepreneur and provide a strong foundation of success for your business. So I'm going to wrap up for today. It's just time. Again, feel free to drop your question in the Q&A. I'm inviting you to check out the website, to register to our upcoming webinars every Wednesdays, every second Wednesdays. And feel free to book a meeting with me if you have any questions. I'm here to help you. I'm the venture coach, and my job is to provide guidance and support to people interested in entrepreneurship or real-time entrepreneurs.